starchive. We got a request to do Instagram in addition to YouTube. And so it wasn't that difficult just to add it, but we wanted to add it to do a very specific thing, which is get the transcript of an Instagram reel like this, which you really have no ability to get in Instagram itself. Like, I don't believe they have the transcript anywhere. You know, if you look at their network activity, it's just, it's not available. If it is, please leave a comment and let me know. So our way to get the transcript is we download it. So let's do that step first. So let's run that. And so you see it's detecting at the stop here, it's detecting that it's Instagram, right? And we know which platform we're now. We have this concept of platform, YouTube or Instagram. Okay, so it's downloaded it. It looks like it's doing the same thing it always does for a video. And if we open that directory I was just in, good. So we actually have this now. And this is the exact same content as what's, over here. And if I were to play this, it's just a 3-minute video, which is the limit of Instagram Reels, of this guy talking, and he says a lot of stuff. Okay, so next step, how do we get that as a transcript? Okay, so we also added to starchive a new command in addition to download called ul. So what does ul do? It uploads. And so how is it actually doing the upload, and what ID are we going to give it? Well, we're going to give it this ID, which by the way is an Instagram ID, not a YouTube ID, and they're kind of mixed together in this directory, but the chance of a collision is pretty small, especially if you delete your data folder every day, which is what I do. Okay. So yeah, I can just say Instagram upload, and what's that going to do? Well, before I run that, let's look in media, and there's a script there called upload to YouTube. And it's a Python thing that, it does a bunch of stuff, right? And you have to have this file. You have to have, client secrets.json, and you can download that from Google. Then the first time you run it, it's going to make this pickle file. And when it runs it, it's going to give you a very scary message saying, do you allow this application to have complete access to your YouTube channel? And so if you don't want to agree to that, with this little app that I made, just make your own YouTube app. And so when you get that scary message, just make sure you're agreeing to it to yourself. So you're not really giving access to anyone to your YouTube channel other than yourself. Okay. And so to make sure that this all doesn't get checked in, if you look in git ignore, this file is never checked in, tokens.pickle is never checked in. Also, you need these cookie files. You need Instagram and YouTube cookies. So all that stuff is just on your hard drive, but never checked into Git. And so now let's go ahead and actually run the upload command. This one. Aha, look at that. It just uploaded it to YouTube. Okay, so why did we want to do that? And wait a minute, is that actually posted publicly on my YouTube channel? Well, not quite. Like if I go to my YouTube studio, and while that's loading, oh yeah, so the default is private. So that's all I'm trying to show you is that, so this video is uploaded, but if I go into studio here, content, I did this once before, so that's why there's 2 of them. But, and the name, we have to upload it, you have to give it a title. I've given it whatever the ID is, because it doesn't matter, because it's staying private. And the whole point of this is so that you can, and by the way, each one of these gets its own YouTube ID, not to be confused with this other ID. Like, if you notice I'm hovering over these, and, one starts with RM, this one starts with EV, but they're both the same content. That other Instagram reel that we downloaded, we have now uploaded it. Okay, and so all of this was a means to an end to come back here and open data. And good. So this isn't going to be a repeat if I do this again. So now the idea is to take, I'll do this one because it had some time to bake. And so sometimes the subtitles, that if you figured it out now what we're doing, we're using YouTube to generate the subtitles, because YouTube will do that for free. And so, now that that's happened, all I have to do is take this ID, and I can grab it like this. And I can say, starchive download. Oh, you see that message we're getting about cookies are no longer valid? So there is this file called, cookies YouTube. And yeah, so let's just remove it. And the way I get that fresh is just to run starchive and then go to any YouTube video. So I'll pick another one like this one. And just let that start downloading something, right? So it's kicked this off. So yeah, if you pause and grab all this, you'll have my actual YouTube cookie. So don't look at that, please. Right, so you'll only cancel this, and let me close this. And so now my cookie file, I'll look at it with this. You see, it's very recent. It is, exactly now. Okay, good. So now we can try that download again, and we shouldn't get that error. And I'll just start fresh by deleting these, because maybe that, oh no, that was a different one. That's true. That was the random one I just clicked on. If you notice, the idea was different. Okay, but let's go ahead and do this one. And if you notice, we have now the TXT. So, you know, this is everything that guy said in 3 minutes. And so there's a lot of manual steps in there, you notice. There's a lot of, you know, running, but the idea is we'll eventually get this, you know, to just one click. I mean, so yeah, you would have to have the cookies fresh, right? And that's just, if you're using starchive, you'll get that just by, you know, using it. Like, and then once your cookies are, and if your cookies ever fail and get that message, we can automate that too. Like, you know, making sure that every once in a while we save the cookies, right? And so then, yeah, it's just a matter of you say download and you paste in your reels. And that's also something we can automate. We can make it just like we do on Instagram, where you just have to go here and it'll automatically download it in the background. And, you know, it'll automatically then upload it to your YouTube channel. And then, you know, sure enough, you'll eventually, and then it'll download it. And then eventually you'll end up with this file. And then we can even automate it to the point where we'll make it so that, you know, it deletes it from your YouTube channel too, because you never wanted it on your YouTube channel. Even though it's private, it gets cluttered in there, right? And so, in fact, I'll do that right now as my last step. Is I'll say, you know what, I don't need these anymore. Delete forever. Delete forever. And there we go. So that's how you would get, you know, start with something on Reels and get it all the way to the point where you have free transcripts. Starchive.